You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. How's everybody feeling out there? Man, it's been a crazy week, and it's going to be even crazier next week, man. E3 is right around the motherfucking corner. I cannot fucking wait. There's already been leaks. There's already been videos of gameplay and lots of stuff on certain games. Got me a little excited. I'm going to break into some of that. And yeah, man, next week is going to be a crazy, crazy show, guys. So definitely tune in for that. We're going to get into a lot of things today, man. One of the things I want to talk about that I didn't get a chance to quite talk about last week was, what AEW is doing, man. Recently, there's been I guess, a overflowing essence, if you will, in the wrestling world. I haven't talked about wrestling in a long time. I'm just excited again for wrestling. It's just crazy because AEW is just bringing something out that's brand new. I think it's fresh. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm excited, especially for October when they, debut their television show on TNT, man. But I'm going to talk just a little bit about that. Also, some games that are on the horizon that will be, debuted at E3. A couple of those games, one of them is the Watch Dogs Legion. I was never really a big Watch Dogs guy. Don't know too much about this game, but this is one of the games that I'm kind of looking to see what's going on. They keep putting them out. So evidently they're trying to push the envelope. They're trying to change some shit. So hopefully, we get a chance to find out what they're trying to do and convey. Also, that's in the future. That's for next week's podcast, but I'm just putting it in your mind right now. If you are a fan of that series, just something to get your ears ready for, because I'm going to probably be talking about that. Also, a game called Greedfall for the PlayStation 4. This is something that I'll be looking into and trying to, I guess, brush over in E3. There's going to be so many things going down, at E3, even though Sony is not going to be there, but hopefully we get some other things percolating. And they said that they're going to be releasing information on some of their other, titles, the first party stuff. So we'll definitely get hopefully some gameplay footage. We'll definitely get some info on release dates, and I'll definitely be giving that all to you guys, man. But yeah, we're also, this episode, I'm going to be talking about Stadia, Google's Stadia. I talked about this before, some weeks prior. It's basically Google's version of video game streaming. It's pretty much what they think is going to be the future of gaming. I'm definitely going to get on it. I cannot fucking wait. I got some new info on that. I can't wait to talk about that shit. Yeah. And also, we're going to talk a little bit some Destiny 2. Yes, Destiny 2. There's been a little info. There's some whispers out here in these video game streets. We're going to brush on that. Also, definitely want to talk about Star Wars Jedi. Yes, I definitely want to talk about the Fallen Order. That's a game that I've actually really been excited about, and I wanted to find out more about. I learned some new information. I'm sure a lot of you guys may have heard some things in the streets, seen some video. I'm going to brush on that. I'm going to give you my thoughts, what I think about the game, and, we're going to get into that. And also FIFA. All you FIFA soccer fans out there, if you play FIFA and if you own a Nintendo Switch, you might want to get ready to get really, really pissed. You might want to get ready for that. I'm going to brush up on that as well. And then also, My Hero Academia has a new game. It's a mobile game though. Yeah, I know usually when you hear mobile at the end of any kind of title, you kind of wince a little bit, at least I do. So when I heard this, I felt, some type of way about it. But I seen, the trailer and it looks pretty motherfucking good. There's still a lot to be, discussed about this, or there's a lot to be discovered. And when that comes apparent, I will definitely get that to you guys. But yeah, I mean, from what I saw, man, the shit looked pretty damn good. I don't know how it's going to play. You know, it was just debuted the other day. So we'll see, man. As of this podcast, it is Saturday. I usually record on Sunday, but the reason why I'm recording early is because all the, moons and the stars all aligned perfectly, and it's telling me to do it today. I've got enough to talk about today. Plus, E3 is technically, starting Tuesday through Thursday. So pretty much from Sunday all the way till Thursday, I'm going to have a shitload of content, and I'll be breaking all that down. So I'm going to get this stuff out of the way for you guys, and then get ready for, the big, post E3 podcast. And, usually when I do E3 podcast, guys, if you listen to me in the past, they usually last a couple weeks. And sometimes I do a bonus episode depending on what news came out and what was going on. So get ready for that, guys. I'll definitely keep you posted. If you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on Instagram, you will definitely get the skinny on what's been going down. But yeah, I can't wait. Let's get started, man. Let's start with, since we're all talking about it right now, let's start with My Hero Academia, the mobile game, man. Stumbled upon this earlier this morning, and to my surprise, man, it was a breath of fresh air to me. I don't look at mobile games like that. Most mobile games for me are just an afterthought, and that's mainly because of the control thing, and trying to find that right controller to play on that. It's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? And if I'm going to play mobile games, usually I tend to turn to the Nintendo Switch, and that's only when I'm traveling. You know what I mean? If I'm just leaving the house for, I got stuff to do or whatever, then, it doesn't really play into that court for me. But this game, I guess it just hit me in some certain spot, and I'm interested because it looks to be sort of an open world type of experience. I mean, the screenshots that were being shown was Deku, overlooking the city, and it looked like a navigational, game where you could just walk around and, do things and maybe, run into villains and stuff like that. So I'm anxious to see how that's going to pan out. I'm going to sit back and wait. And part of the other reason I think that this game has intrigued me so much is because, man, if you guys listen to the last podcast or the podcast before that, or if you go to my Instagram, you'll know that, man, My Hero Academia hit me very, very hard. I have been bitten by the My Hero Academia bug. It is one of my favorite anime. Keep in mind, I watched it earlier. I watched the first two seasons earlier, when they first came out, and I watched the subs. Okay. And it was good. It was a very good show. But then I decided, when season 3 came out, and then I got Hulu, to go ahead and watch them all again dubbed. So I did that. And that second watch, that I don't know what it was. It was just, it just did something. It just overtook me, man. It just clicked with me, and the characters just started really, really clicking with me, man. And I just fell in love with the series, man. I mean, I love All Might and Deku. I love those guys. And then, there's a couple other characters that are awesome as well in that series. But yeah, man. And then I just went on a fucking binge. I mean, I saw the movie recently too. That was epic. I'll probably watch that again this morning, before I go to bed. I just went on an epic tear, man. I went and, spent a little money on a couple of My Hero Academia things. Like I said, you go to my, Instagram, you will definitely see All Might there. You will definitely see Deku there, shoot style Deku. And also, man, I've been playing My Hero Academia One's Justice. I've been on that. You know what I mean? I've just been trying to get all this My Hero Academia, all of this beautiful epicness, man, I've been trying to get, and I'm loving every minute of it. And now I'm about to venture off into the manga, because I do have a Comixology. That's an app I did talk about briefly with you guys, where basically if you're a comic lover or a manga lover, you can go and download this, and there's, hundreds and hundreds of different comic books, some anime or manga that you guys can, read. And basically they have all of the chapters there for you. So I want to know what's going to happen next. I'm, the season 3 is over. So season 4 is not coming out until October. So I'm like, yo, there's got to be something else I can, get my fix on. And then luckily for me, the manga is available, so I can read the manga and find out, what's going to happen next. And then there's also even some side stuff going on. There's a story called My Hero Academia Vigilantes, man, that I'm interested in checking out and seeing what that's about. So, definitely some stuff. I'm very excited to, tackle some of this new content for me. I know a lot of you guys who are into that series have already read all the manga and is already caught up to date. But me, that's something I have to look forward to, and I can't wait. And I'll definitely be discussing that on a future podcast. As a matter of fact, me and a very good friend of mine, we're talking about trying to get together and actually doing just a special on My Hero Academia. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a podcast special or if it's going to be a YouTube special, but one of those will transpire. And when I make that move and when that happens, I will definitely let you guys know. Definitely, like I said, check me out on Twitter. I'll be posting it, or Instagram. One of those 2 platforms, guys. You can always catch me uploading and doing some kind of shit. But yeah, the game looks awesome, though, for a mobile game. As more and more, details come out, then I will, let you guys know. And I definitely want to play this game. I'm very interested. This will probably be the first mobile game I have played in quite some motherfucking time. Yeah, for real. Because usually when I think of mobile games, like I said earlier, it's more of a something to do while you're in line or some shit like that. Something quick, you know what I mean? Something not really, that's going to just put you in, some kind of zone. Because when I play games, I usually enter some kind of zone, and I don't want to come out of that zone for at least a couple hours. You know what I mean? But I don't know, this might change the game. If anything, I might, download it on the tablet. But we'll see. Definitely will keep you guys posted on that. Moving on, though, I want to talk a little about AEW, man. Yes, AEW. If you're a wrestling fan, guys, and you're out here listening, even if you're not, I'm sure you've heard whispers in the streets about, AEW, because everybody pretty much knows WWF/WWE now. And, they're really pretty much the creme de la creme of the wrestling world, if you will. I mean, that's, everybody knows who The Undertaker is. Everybody knows who, John Cena is and shit like that. So, I mean, this story, I don't even want to call it a story, but to me, it's just something new. And it's just something that felt like it just came out of left field. And everything is, everything that's happening with this company has been like just buttery smooth. I mean, and I'm sure the intention that was the intention of the company, but usually when you come out and you start a brand new brand, like this, there's going to be bumps in the road, and I'm quite sure there still will be. But right now, I mean, it just seems like they're hitting on every fucking cylinder right now. And I mean, I think it's just in the cards for these guys, man. I just really do. And like I said, I haven't watched wrestling in years, bro. It's been since I was, a teenager, early 20s, that I looked at some wrestling and was really, interested in what I was watching. I love playing wrestling games. I mean, games and watching the product is completely 2 different things, because, right now, if you don't know, WWE is just putting out a lot of boo-boo. They're putting out a very shitty product right now, and a lot of people are very unhappy, including their employees. A lot of the wrestlers that are signed with these guys are ready to leave. Some of these motherfuckers are even, going rogue and shit. I think like Sasha Banks, who was once, the creme de la creme in her division, she fucking went rogue, and she's like, I'm not coming back. I do not want to come back. And then everybody's tweeting these ominous tweets, you know what I mean? Taking shots on the low at WWE and all this shit. And everybody knows it's Vince McMahon's doing. Okay. Vince McMahon now is an old man who's basically, bordering the line of senilism, and he just likes what he likes. And a lot of the shit is corny as fuck. And, it's evident. I mean, you got Triple H telling this guy certain things, and they're getting into it. It's all kinds of drama going on. And now with AEW hit the scene, they're not an indie company. Okay, these guys aren't like Ring of Honor. They're not, Impact Wrestling. They're smaller tier companies that don't have as much, financial backing, as WWE has. You know what I'm saying? So now, what's so crazy about it is AEW's backing is pretty much on par with WWE as far as pocketbook wise is concerned. Cause these guys are billionaires. They own, you know what I'm saying, the Jacksonville Jaguars and I think some soccer team in, you know, the United Kingdom or whatnot. So they have money. So basically they're throwing money at these wrestlers. And what the big difference in my opinion is right now from, you know, just on the outside looking in, the owner's son or, you know, the owner, I think he's part owner with his dad or whatever. But anyway, he's a big super, you know, wrestling fan. He loves this shit. He knows every pay-per-view. He knows all, you know, I'm talking about ECW, WCW, all of them, the Monday Night Wars, everything like that. He loves it. And when you listen to him talk about it, you can tell, you know, he has so much passion for it. You know what I mean? And that's what Vince had back in the day. You know what I mean? Because wrestlers will tell you, especially ones who's been there, you know, in the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars and all of those things, you know, he was a different person. You know, he was younger. He was more hip to the game. He was more, you know, in cahoots with all the wrestlers and, you know, they had a lot more fun. And, you know, he just, when you do something for so long, for so many years with no breaks, hardly ever, you tend to, you know, maybe get worn down, you know, by what you're doing or whatever. I don't know if that's the, you know, the case or if it's a combination of that with his age or what the fuck ever, man. But it's something happening and, he's making a lot of bad decisions now and he's not giving a lot of these wrestlers, you know, what they actually deserve, the shine that they deserve. It's just it's a complete fuck. It's a complete fuck up. It's a shit show right now. And they're going to lose a lot of wrestlers. Okay. They've already lost, John Moxley, who was, Dean Ambrose, and he's doing fucking well. He's doing real well right now. Since he signed, you know, to AEW, man, he's already won the fucking IGWP, I think Intercontinental Championship. He just won a title. He just literally won a title in Japan. I can't remember the name of the title, but he's doing big things, man. I mean, as soon as they, you know, took the chains off, he fucking went in and he's acting a damn donkey. I'm serious. And a lot of these wrestlers are doing that, you know. What got me interested was Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of my favorite all-time wrestlers. And I followed him all the way from, you know, ECW, WCW, which is when he became my favorite, and then into WWE and, you know, and so on and so forth. But he's went on to Japan and do big things. He's doing a lot of things now. He's mainly the first big name to sign with AEW and got me actually interested in like, what is this AEW shit? And then I started Googling it and started researching it. And I found out like a lot of wrestlers that I actually liked are actually signed to this company now, you know, because Impact Wrestling was also a company that I really used to love, you know, back in the day. TNA is another name that they used to go by. But there were wrestlers like the Motor City Machine Guns. There were wrestlers like Samoa Joe who came from there. They had a lot of talent there, you know what I mean? And who else, man? The Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels was there. You know, Kaz, aka Kazarian. You know, those guys still wrestling to this day, still doing big things, man. They spend a lot of their time in Japan, but these wrestlers are very, very skilled and talented, man. And then you got, you know, the Young Bucks, guys like this. I mean, that company's about to do some big shit, man. I'm so serious right now. It's sold out in Vegas in like 4 minutes. I mean, doing shit that's never been done. And now they have a TV deal in October. So all I'm saying is, look, they need to watch their fucking ass because they're going to lose some wrestlers. It's going to be, you know, back. I want to see a wrestling war again, man, because you know what? That makes the product better because that makes, you know, it's going to make WWE better. You know what I mean? So it's going to be good for all fans of wrestling, even casual fans like me who used to watch it every now and then. But I think I'm going to start watching it again, man. AEW is going to be the federation that I look into watching. So yeah, man, I can't wait. It just feels strange talking about wrestling, cause I haven't done it in so long, but, it's very exciting, you know, when you have a product like this and when you enjoy, you know, what people are putting out, you know what I mean? Cause they're doing things that WWE, you know, hasn't done in years since the Attitude Era, man. And they're bringing it back. They're going to force their hand. So it ought to be very, very interesting. Anyway, that's off my chest. You know, I think it's just another flavor, another layer, you know, in itself to talk about on this podcast, because like I said, I talk about all things nerd culture, man. I talk about, you know, the good shit. You know what I mean? Wrestling, comic books. You know, I'm starting to talk about more manga, you know, anime, video games. These are the things, you know, that I, you know, embrace on this show. So if you are interested in all of these things, then come here every Monday and you shall receive. But let's move on to the next subject, guys. Something I wanted to talk about. Google, you know, and I've said this before. If you guys have listened to older podcasts, you guys know. All the new listeners, man, welcome to the show. I forgot to say that at the beginning, but if you're new, welcome to the show. I'm glad you guys are here. You know, I knew when they announced this shit that it was, you know, it's too early. Okay. Google Stadia is something that, you know, they are trying to rival as it stands when it comes to other video game devices, if you will. And when I first heard about that they were coming out with, you know, their own system, I got excited. You know what I mean? Because nobody knew what it was. You know, I assumed that it was going to be a console. And then I said, oh shit, if Google puts out a console, oh my God, it could be trouble because they got all this money and this. We didn't get that. We got basically a streaming video game service. Let me tell you guys what's wrong with that. And Sony was the first, you know, to basically comment on it. And, you know, they were 110% correct. They basically said that, you know, that is the future of gaming, maybe possibly down the line, but it's not right now. The technology is not up to par, you know, to handle, you know, what they're trying to do right now. In other words, for the masses. Because right now, when you think about, you know, streaming, you're thinking about so much bandwidth being used to, you know, put out, you know, a certain product. And basically, if your internet is kind of, you know, kind of spicy and it's a little salty and it's not up to par in some spots, because there are rural areas out here. And I have a friend who stays in a certain area and his internet is just fucking trash. You know what I mean? He's barely able to, you know, do a lot of things, you know, with the internet because it's just a bad area. And when you have people like that who want to pay for good service, but it's just not available to them, then they're going to suffer. And it's a lot more people than you might think. So, you know, when you put out something like a streaming service, before you get ready to do that, you might want to make sure that everybody is going to be able to have access to this, you know, equal playing field, if you will. You don't want, you know, it to be lopsided. That's something you don't want in your life. And right now, as soon as I heard fucking streaming, I was like, no, it's a wrap for me. I'm not doing it. That's something I'm not going to entertain. And, you know, right now, if you get out there in those video game streets, you're going to see a lot of people, talking down on this, Google Stadia. You know, Google Stadia is being roasted right now. They're becoming a joke. It's not looking good. I'm so thankful for social media sometimes. And these are the reasons why, because, you know, if you put out a fucked up product or if you're about to put out a fucked up product, motherfuckers are going to call you out. And it's becoming more of a practice, though, if you're smart, to use this as a gauge for, you know, the consumer. You know what I mean? If 70% of everybody's saying this shit is trash, you might want to go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? So I hope that Google is listening to everybody and listening to what's going on with their prices and everything. And I hope they're taking all of that into consideration. And I hope they're doing something about it, because if they don't, guess what? They're going to be another Fallout 76. They're going to be another fucking EA. It's going to happen. So, I mean, they have an opportunity to kind of slow it down a little bit. And they want to probably get wise about that and make that a reality, because if they don't, it's just going to be another meme, amongst other memes in this, video game world. They need to get it together. But anyway, let's give you a idea of what, you know, Google Stadia is fucking working with here. Okay. Let me give you a quick rundown, you know, some prices or whatever. Okay. They're going to be starting out at $11.99 a month. And that's a pro subscription. All right. Now, what the pro subscription entails is basically you're going to be able to do streaming at 4K with 60 frames per second. All right. That's for $12 a month plus tax. Only older games are included with this subscription. So in other words, for your $12, you know, a month, you're going to have access to older titles to stream. Okay. That's what you're going to get. New games are going to be, separate. So you're going to have to pay for those. Now, I don't know what they're going to charge for these games that hasn't been, discussed yet. If they're charging, like $60 for, a new game to be for streaming, bruh, that's a wrap in itself. I mean, I'm already done. I'm already not going to, be messing with this Google Stadia. But for anybody thinking about doing this, you want to think really, really hard, if that's what the case is. Because if it's streaming, then I don't have to tell you guys, man. We've all had experiences with streaming something, and this is video. You know what I mean? I'm not even talking about gameplay. You know what I mean? It's been attempted before. PlayStation, has attempted it before. There's a lot of companies that have attempted to try to stream a game, and it's not ready yet. The time it's too prehistoric still. It's early stages. Okay. But anyway, let me move on. Now, there's going to be a free subscription in the future, and that's going to be available in 2020. Yes, you heard me correctly. A free subscription, so everybody can, have access to this. But here's the caveat to that. Okay, it's only going to be 1080p for streaming. Okay, which isn't terrible, because 1080p, I mean, that's what I play my games on right now. You know what I mean? But anyway, this one won't include any games. So basically, it's free, but you have to pay for every kind of game, any game you want. You know what I mean? That's going to be the downfall of that. Also, here's some of the specs. Because I was interested in some of the specs, like, okay, how fast does your shit have to be? What's going on with that? Now here's the minimum requirements for this. It's 10 megabytes per second in downloading. If you want optimal comfort, and you want your shit to be like just fluid and as seamless as possible, then you're going to need 35 megabytes per second. Okay. For 4K. That's what you're gonna need. Now that, man, that is high, bro. A lot of people are not going to be able to do that. And to add insult to injury, say, with this company, what Google is trying to do is they're trying to sell you the fact that you can fucking stream anytime, anywhere. Okay. On any device. So if you have, your cell phone, you're like, oh shit, I got my controller on my cell phone. I can stream right now where I'm at. Okay. Well, here's where the problem lies. Okay. With that, number one, first and foremost, what they're not telling you is that, if you don't have a certain phone, you have to have a certain phone for this to work. It has to be a Google phone. Okay. For it to work. So you're not doing this shit on any phone. It's not happening. Just not any Android or just whatever. If you have a Samsung, nigga, you might be SOL. Okay. Definitely. If you have an iPhone, you're fucked. No love in the building. Also, when you're out and you're say you're on a trip or whatever the fuck you're trying to stream. Yeah. On 4G, I mean, what are you going to get done on 4G? It's going to be a limit to that. You know what I mean? Because you're technically on 4G and you're going to be in a lot of places when you drive. Shit, even when I'm fucking driving in the street, there's certain areas in my own little town, city that, 4G fucking is lackluster in. So I'm only imagining what it's going to be like for, somebody trying to stream, on the road, on the go or some shit like that. It's ridiculous. It's not going to, I'm telling you guys right now, read my fucking lips. This is going to be a disaster. Especially in the beginning stages, like most things are when you're trying something new, and especially when you're dealing with satellites and all this shit, it's going to be a fucking disaster. I'm telling you now, somebody's going to buy it. And, I'm sure like there's a lot of tech guys that are going to, try this out. I cannot fucking wait to find out how this turns out. I mean, the only thing I need to do now is just get the popcorn ready, because it's going to be a fucking show. I cannot wait. All I'm going to say is just don't waste your money. Please don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it right now. Sony even said it, man. Sony's like, look, we know about the future of gaming. We know where it's headed. But right now, man, it is not. We don't want to touch it unless we can optimize it to its full capacity. If we can't make it seamless and a seamless experience for all of our customers, all of our consumers, then we're not going to fucking touch it. Now, as a business person, that is exactly how you should approach a said product, something you want to push to the masses. You don't want to fucking cater to only a percentage of the population. When you create something, you want that creation to be accepted by everyone. You want it to be accessible to everyone. That should be your number one fucking goal. And if you can't do that, then you should not attempt to put that out. But we all know that that is not how the world works. That is not how the gaming world works. Companies all day, every day are always in the fucking boardroom, smoking their scrolls, drinking their sake, shooting heroin into their veins, popping ecstasy, and making all kinds of fucked up decisions on what we should do for the consumer. How can we fuck them out of more money? How long can we put the warm parquet butter in the microwave and let it warm up and let it liquefy before we pull it out, dip our dicks in it, and then insert it in the asses of the consumer? That's what they're trying to do on every fucking turn. Okay? EA. Okay? Motherfucking Bethesda as of late. Okay? Capcom, Street Fighter fiasco, all of these fucking companies, and there's a lot more. That's what they're doing behind closed doors. That's what they are trying to particulate. They say, look, we're going to put our hand in the cookie jar and hope we don't get it slapped. But now, in today's age, thankfully, we have YouTubers, we have social media, and it's actually starting to work in our favor for a lot of these companies. It's making them understand that, we're not just going to eat any piece of boo-boo that you give us. Okay. It may look like a piece of steak, but that's just a flat piece of shit. That's pretty much what it is. I smelt it the second you came around the corner with it. You can put all the A1 steak sauce on it you want to, but it's just a piece of shit with A1 steak sauce. And that's what, we're doing. And that's what we're going to continue to do, man, because this is fucking ridiculous. All right. Everything I just said concerning Google Stadia was pure fuckery. Okay. In its infancy, it's basically in the womb right now. It's cooking up, it's got, a little bit of time left, in the womb or whatever. And it's going to give birth to this. Okay. Now, all I'm trying to do is diagnose the problem before it comes out. That's all I'm trying to do. That's what a lot of us are trying to do. If you look at all the big YouTubers, everybody's laying it on the line. They're telling us, look, this is garbage. Don't do it. So I'm going to see what Google is going to do. Okay. Some people, they got so much money, they might say, fuck it, we're going to do what we want to do. You want it? Cool. If not, cool. I mean, hey, if that's what they want to do, I definitely won't be touching it. So I don't have to worry about it. But I will get a kick out of watching others struggle with the bad decision that they've made. Okay. This is one of the decisions that you can basically say, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And one of those mistakes that are probably going to be in the back of your mind is when you purchased Google Stadia's package. I'm sorry. I'm being stupid, but at the same time, I'm being real, man. Okay, people, listen to me right now. I'm trying to drop knowledge upon your foreheads right now. Okay, I'm kissing you in the middle of your forehead and I'm pulling the cover right up under your chin before I turn the light out and you go to sleep. Okay, I'm trying to look out for you like my own child. Okay, because I care about you guys, man. I don't want to see you guys waste your money on boo-boo. Please don't do it. Okay, I'm a type of guy that, I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money. So, by default, when I get ready to buy something, I do my research. You know what I mean? Especially if it's something that I enjoy doing. Video games is a big part of my life. You know what I mean? So is anime. So is, a lot of other things, under this nerd-like umbrella. But I research before I purchase, because the last thing I want is to waste my money, hard-earned money, on some garbage. Okay? Whether it's $2 or whether it's fucking $200. So, yeah, they also have a $129 package that includes a controller, something called a Google. I don't even know the fucking name of it. I can't remember, but it's something that you need to have to buy to actually play this shit at home. Okay. Like I said, man, it's going to be a failure. And, sometimes you need a whole lot of failures before you get to that golden place. And, this is probably going to be one of those. But yeah, I had to, voice my opinion on it because, who would I be if I didn't, tell you guys or at least try to warn you guys about this said subject? So I did, and now I think I can sleep better at night because I at least warned you. I at least gave you the tools that you need to survive. So now you can take that and do what you will. Do what you will with it. All right. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next subject. And we're going to talk a little about Destiny 2. Now, I'm not a Destiny fan like that. I played it briefly. I remember Destiny 2. I played it briefly. I can't remember how I got a hold of it, but this might bring me back. Because if you're a Destiny fan, and I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who are, you might be interested in this, and you probably already know. You might already know this, or you might have written them off completely, and this just might be some new info. But apparently, Destiny is not finished. They refuse to go down. They're being completely fucking reworked. Okay. They said they're reworking the whole game from the ground up. They're changing a lot of shit. They're going to be adding all kind of updates. All this shit is going to happen. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this is for somebody who isn't into Destiny or somebody who, felt like we're burned by Destiny for whatever reason, or felt that they did everything they possibly could have, you can actually, go back and buy it. And I'm thinking, I don't even know. I haven't checked on what Destiny costs now, but I'm sure it's dirt cheap for the game disc. If you have the game disc, you can pretty much go back and everything up to this point right now, as of this podcast, man, you can pretty much get for free. They're going to give you everything. And then the new content that they are going to be putting out is going to be just that, new content. And it's supposed to be some good shit. So I'm going to be looking into that as the, days progress, and I'm going to find out, what all that is about. And if that's true, I might pick Destiny up. Okay. See what it's about, man. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. So, just stay tuned for that. And I'll definitely give you guys some more information on that. If you guys know something that I don't know, which I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who do, please holler at your boy. Hit me up on Twitter, man, at Studio MacGyver. Let me know, inbox me. You know what I mean? Be cool to hear from you sometime. But yeah, I mean, I think the big reason why they're doing this is, because they're no longer signed with Activision. Okay. They're basically saying that we're doing everything our way now, like Usher. We're doing it our fucking way. Okay. Nobody is going to tell us what to do anymore. And see, that's the problem, with a lot of these game companies, man. With the Activisions of the world and the EAs of the world. Okay. They are dictators in their own sense. All right. They don't have, the creators don't have all the freedom that you think they have, a lot of the time. So when these products come out piss poor, a lot of the time is because some of these motherfuckers in these suit and ties are making bad decisions, and there's nothing that the developer can actually do about it. They just have to roll with the punches. You know what I mean? And that's the sad thing about it. And that's why you see this happening right now. So this might actually go and be something amazing. This could actually be something great. What these companies are doing. They learned their lesson, signing with Activision. I guarantee you they won't do it again. And this might be something that, is a good thing. And that's only time will fucking tell. We're going to find out. And I definitely, and I'm kind of interested, trying to find out what's going to happen next, man. You know what I mean? So I just thought I'd share that information with you guys. Be looking out for some Destiny 2 stuff, man. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff coming up in this E3. Pretty much the bulk of what I'm going to be talking about is coming up to next week's podcast. So get ready, guys, because it's going to be a fucking slobber knocker. Now let's jump from Destiny 2 and let's jump to FIFA soccer. There's a lot of FIFA game fans out here, man. I mean, FIFA sells I think FIFA is like EA's number one selling sports game. I mean, it's an international sport. I'm not into soccer, but I respect, the love for the sport. I respect, the game. And, you have to respect the game with that much, fanfare, all that stuff going on. So this is kind of, what got me a little bit heated when it comes to EA, man. EA is just, they're all over the fucking place, man. And I'm going to get on that. But here's what FIFA did. Okay. First of all, let me just say that everybody, EA had their press conference. They're the first ones to have their press conference. They had it on Saturday, and everybody has pretty much said that EA's, conference sucked. All right. It was terrible. The hosts that they had were fucking terrible. They were obnoxious. They were irritating. It was just a bad presentation, man. And, they only had one thing that I was interested in, and I think most of us were interested in, and that's the Star Wars game. And I'm going to brush on that at the end of the show. That's my last thing I'm going to talk about and address. But as far as FIFA is concerned, man, if you own a Nintendo Switch and you're a FIFA fan and you play the FIFA games, then you're going to be upset. You're probably going to be upset because FIFA has decided to put out FIFA 2020 Legacy Edition. Now, if you don't know what Legacy Edition means or what it is, it's basically nothing but a fucking roster update. So basically, if you had FIFA 19, and you want to get FIFA 2020, you just need to play FIFA 19. But the fucked up thing about that is, it's just a roster update. That's all it is. It's no new animations. It's no new modes. It's nothing. It's the exact same game you played, except for it's a roster update. This is some lazy ass shit, man, on EA's part. And that just shows you how much they care about, the Switch portion of the game, or the Switch players, if you will. And you know what? There's a lot of companies like that too. They're not the only one, but one that I know of, and the one I want to talk about is EA, because EA is just they're just a fucked up company right now. They've been for quite some time. And if you're a Nintendo Switch owner and you like the FIFA games, then, you're going to be upset. I mean, why would you pay a full price for a game that's just a fucking roster update? Who's going to do that? I think it's safe to say that these motherfuckers aren't going to sell many FIFA 2020 titles, except for the people who just, don't know what don't know. And it's just like, oh, there's new FIFA games out on the Switch. Let's get it. And then they'll finally realize, and it'll probably be too fucking late. And then here's EA with the no refunds. It's fucking terrible, man. I know, but it's true. It's fucking true. All right. Sooner or later, man, I'm telling you, EA keeps doing this shit, man. I'm telling you right now, they're going down. They're fucking going down. They have one more chance, in my opinion. And that's this Star Wars game, guys. Yes, that's Star Wars Jedi, The Fallen Order. Okay. Now, and this game actually, to believe it or not, guys, this game has had, mixed feelings. Not everybody is, hype on this game is hype as, I am, or, a lot of people are. It's like, 50-50. I'd say like 60-40, 60 for it, 40 not for it. It's definitely, there's like a 15-minute video of gameplay out here on it right now. And, they're going to show more gameplay, new gameplay, probably, I think Sunday. I think in Microsoft's press conference. So there's going to be more. Like I said, I'll be definitely touching up more on this game as more details come to light, because this is something that I want to play personally. This is really the only EA game I'm fucking with, only because it's a fucking single player open world experience. My favorite genre of game, third person, action adventure, type of game. That's my favorite genre, and that's the reason why I'm playing. You could have put any license on this game. You could be called, Stick Boy. And, if it's an open world, action adventure type title, I would probably play it. If the graphics were good, if everything, I would probably play it. You know what I mean? This just happens to have a Star Wars license on it. And, regrettably, it has the EA, shadow looming over its fucking head. You know what I mean? And that's what I think a lot of people are skeptical about as well, because if you're a gamer and if you're into the community and the culture, you know about EA and you know about their past and you know what they're about. They're really technically about, if you add it all up to one word, they're about fuckery. They're about, getting every last dollar out of you they possibly can. They're milking you dry, spitting you over, pulling out the warm butter. I wouldn't even give them that much credit. Pulling out warm butter, putting it on the table. You bent over beside that, that bowl of warm butter. And then they commence to dipping their dick in the warm butter, pulling your pants down, and basically ramming their cock in your asshole. That's pretty much what they're about. Straight fuckery. That's it. I don't know what brand of butter they're using. I don't know if it's Parquet. I don't know if it's Country Crock. I don't even know if it's, I can't believe it's not butter. But I do know the butter is warm. And I do know that they put their dicks in it and they fuck you. Okay. That's what they are about. That's what they've been about 90% of the time. So this game here has a dark shadow already over it before it's even had a chance to breathe. And you can blame that on yourself, EA. You can definitely blame that on yourself for all the fuckery and all the shit you've done in the past. Every other game you've put out in the past has been, online only and all of this and pay that. Now they have stated, I don't take their word for, I don't take it as gospel. I think everybody knows that, but this is what they said. They said that they're not going to have any microtransactions in this game. No microtransactions, man. Okay. There's no online on this game. It's just strictly a single player experience. And I think they're trying to finally say, fuck it. Let's put this out and let's see how this does. Let's put this out and let's see how this does. All the other shit has been online since EA's got the license. They, been, putting out pretty much boo-boo, or quickly dying games. And they said, let's just make this our last, our last chance, our last time to try to, see what we can do with this game. And, this is the only game, like I said, that I will fuck with on EA because it is a Star Wars game and I loved Star Wars games. I loved open world single player Star Wars games, Knights of the Old Republic, those type of games, Force Unleashed, those type of games. Now, that's the only reason why I'm giving this any attention. That's the only reason why I am going to be probably playing this. Now, what did I see on the, on the trailer? What, how did I feel about it? I actually felt pretty good about it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, yes, they are EA and I cannot stand EA as a company. Lord knows I can't, but it's not just about EA. There's other people in there too, because the guys who are writing the story are the same guys who've written, the Clone Wars, which is supposedly like one of the best, stories, in Star Wars media that in recent history, as far as, animation and all that's concerned. But, they sound like they have, a lot of other good pieces besides the EA. EA is just the publisher technically, but I'm interested in this game. What I saw, I really enjoyed looking at. I'm interested to see more of it. Really what I wanted to see more of is, more of like, the bosses, more of like some of the stuff like that. But what I saw, man, it looked pretty dope. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, that's my initial response to what I've seen. I mean, you're running around. There's a little bit of platforming involved, not too much, but there's a little bit. And then, the combat system is kind of like a Dark Souls type of thing. You know what I mean? Where you have stamina and it plays into effect on how you move and everything like that. Not as fucking, from what I saw in this preview, not as unforgiving as the Dark Souls game, but it's still there, and it's more so like trying to get, that flush one or two hits in on the opponent and taking them out the game permanently, as opposed to just, hacking away at a sponge of a villain or whatever. Now, I'm sure that, when you get bosses and stuff like that, yeah, it's going to be more strategic of, it's going to be a game of patience. You know what I mean? Because I remember playing God of War, man, fighting those fucking Valkyries. I mean, when I looked at old gameplay footage of that and everything I was doing wrong, I was like, yo, the biggest thing I'm fucking doing wrong is being impatient and getting too thirsty in the moment. If I go in and try to get, and land 3 hits, I'm like, man, I could have landed 4 or 5. So I try to land 4 or 5 and then end up, getting too thirsty and paying for it. So what I needed to do instead is get my 2 to 3 hits in, even though I have room for maybe 1 more, maybe even possibly 2. And back out and get the fuck out of there, and then wash, rinse, and repeat and try to find another opening, get in there. And it's just over time we get, antsy and anxious, and we just say, we fuck it. There's too much time passed. And that's the problem. That was my problem. So once I learned how to be patient and really patient in God of War, that's when I started figuring out I can beat these bitches. And, yeah, I did. I beat all the Valkyries and I beat the Queen. So yeah, it's there. And it's also, the Queen video is also on my YouTube channel. So check out Studio MacGyver TV. If you want to see that fight. The video is called How I Met the Queen. That's just a little tiny little YouTube plug, whatever. Nothing major, but yeah. But yeah, man, that's the game that I saw. That's what it felt like to me. And, I'm excited for it. I'm not going to lie. From what I've seen so far, I'm pretty excited. I also listened to a podcast, about the game. I want to say it was, Game Informer podcast when they were talking about the game, breaking it down and everything like that. And, I enjoy what I listen to. And, like I said, it's rare. It's a fucking rare experience when you're talking about EA, but I cannot lie. I'm going to keep it real with myself. And most importantly, guys, I'm going to keep it real with my listeners. I'm just keeping it real. That's how I feel about the game. I mean, if I had to say buy it or not, right now, as of right now, this podcast, I'd say buy. It's a buy for me. And it's definitely over Death Stranding right now. Cause that game also drops in November. And I have to pick. I just don't understand Kojima right now. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know what he's smoking right now, or what he's been experimenting with. It seems like he's just been lacing his sake with something extremely, extremely powerful right now. And I think he's chasing the dragon. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but who knows? It could turn out to be, his crazy, sick version of a epic video game experience. I don't know yet, but as of right now, what I've seen, it's just not doing it for me. It might be something I have to come back to later or just get some more information on, man. But right now in November, the Star Wars game right now for me is going to be the purchase. Now there is also going to be different cosmetics in the game. This game also takes place in the world of Star Wars. It is actual canon. Okay. The story is canon. And I something told me it was canon once I saw, one of the scenes in the game. And one of the scenes in the game, actually, you talk to a character in one of the movies who was played by Forrest Whitaker. His character's in the game, a younger version of his character is in this game. So this takes place around the time of that movie. Yeah, that was interesting in itself. So I don't know, man. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I respect the series enough to, and the fans enough to, appreciate a good Star Wars game and appreciate good lore. I love lore in gaming. I love it. And one thing I do appreciate about Star Wars is the deep fucking lore that it has in its universe, all the novels, all the books, not just the movies, you know what I mean, that are out there for people to consume if you want to know more about it. You know what I mean? It's very interesting when it comes to that. And when you look at it through that lens, it's very interesting to me. So I've always, like I said, I've loved those Star Wars games in the past. My favorite Star Wars, game of all time is still Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Still love those fucking games to this day. I got a friend that's actually playing, Knights of the Old Republic on his phone, and that's all he's been doing on his phone, playing that. He loves it. He loves the fucking game. He never had a chance to play it. I'm envious because he's experiencing it for the first time, even though it's on the phone. He's still loving the game, and the way that they put it on the phone actually was pretty dope. So yeah, man, that's my take on it, guys. I advise you all to take a look at the video if you have not seen it. The graphics are stunning. They're very beautiful. I can't wait to, they said that you can change the colors of your lightsaber. You just can't do red. Okay. Cause if you don't know, red is the color of the Sith, and they don't do that shit. So that would fuck up the lore. So they keep it lore, right. They're not just going to just, oh yeah, they're staying true to their lore. You know what I mean? I will say that. So, but you can customize it, the handle of it. They said you can customize your gear. You can customize your little, your companion. He's a robot. I can't remember his name, but he looks pretty awesome. You can customize him as well. Yeah. Like I said, once I see a little bit more gameplay, maybe they, divulge a little bit more information, I will definitely let you guys know. Like I said, next week's podcast is going to be fucking huge. And like I said, it may be so big that I have to do a bonus fucking episode for you guys. So be fucking looking out for that. Be ready for that, guys. That is going to do it for the show. I want to thank everybody for listening. If you're new to this podcast, guys, please, 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 stay with us. Welcome to the family. I just, and I want to appreciate you guys for downloading the episode, for streaming the episode, man. And for everybody who's been down from day one, just been down, period, in general. I love each and every one of you guys. If you want to holler at your boy, if you want to just reach out, man, you can always do so on Twitter at Studio MacGyver, on Instagram at Studio MacGyver79. You can get at me on all those platforms, guys. I also have a Facebook page too at Studio MacGyver as well. Don't forget about that. I've been not bringing that up, and I need to get better at doing that. Okay, Discord is definitely coming. I always say that, but it's just been so busy, so many things going on. I'm still working on it nice and slowly. Also check out my YouTube channel, guys, Studio MacGyver TV. Yes, sir. Going to be doing some things on that, gameplay and things of that nature. I'm going to have a Friday night fights on there. I'm just basically building up a whole lot of videos, man, right now. That's the process so that I can put out content on a steady basis. Also, guys, man, it's going to be, if you guys know anything about, Biomutant, holler at your boy, man. That's a game I'm really looking forward to. I hope to see something on that on E3, but yeah, if you guys know anything about Biomutant, guys, let me know. That's a game I'm really, really anxious to play. If you guys don't know about that, Google it. I can't wait. It's just so much on my mind right now, guys. I can't even fucking think straight. I really can't. But with that being said, guys, let me get out of here. I've been talking too fucking long. Thank you guys for listening to the show. Also, one more thing before I go. One more fucking thing. Check out Beautiful Nerds, man. Okay. If you're into nerd culture, if you're listening to this podcast, then I assume that you are, all things nerdy, man. You know what I mean? Hats, caps, beanies, mugs, backpacks, all that shit. Check out Beautiful Nerds. It's www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. Check out that website, guys. It'll be helping me out, be doing me a great service for doing so. With that being said, now I'm going to get my ass up out of here. This is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.